oh, sorry, sorry. Like, I'm sorry you have to see my face.
Acne destroys lives.
It controls your life.
And it's becoming an epidemic.
Acne makes you feel ugly.
Dirty.
I feel really unattractive.
It's not just a few spots. It's causing self-harm and even suicide. These people's skin has pushed them to the very brink, destroying their lives, their careers, their relationships.
It's robbed me of part of the person that I am, really.
Lou, Jason and Tam are 3 long-term sufferers on a desperate quest for answers.
Is there a cure for acne? That is the magic question.
Getting diagnosed,
Oh wow, really? I never knew that.
experimenting with treatments,
It's like bird poop.
Poo?
Yeah.
and fighting to find a remedy that finally works.
It definitely gets better, and that firstly has to start with you.
It's gonna get better. Promise.
It's a journey to the cutting edge of medicine and beyond. So can alternative treatments and support from social media succeed for these individuals where so many treatments have failed before?
Life with acne can absolutely get better.
I used to think that I should go out with like a brown paper bag over my head because I didn't want people to have to look at my skin. I didn't want to like appear ugly to someone else. And also I thought I was not worthy to be loved.
Each year in the UK, 3.5 million people seek help for their acne.
I was known for having a perfect porcelain skin, and all of a sudden I was turning into like a giant pimple. When you've got acne, it feels like you're just alone and no one can understand you.
I would cry like every day. I was just desperate to get back to who I was before and who I really am underneath all of that.
It's a condition that affects far more than your appearance.
It's the bullying, it's the name calling, pizza face, moon face, craters. I had a friend put foundation on my face and she was like, oh, it's like Rocky Road. Yep, thanks, that's my face.
22-year-old Lou lives in London. For her, the arrival of acne meant the end of her dreams.
I was a model growing up from the age of 10 to 16, but my career actually ended because of my skin. I literally felt like the world was over because that was 6 years of my life. I just thought I was, so ugly and completely unworthy. Like, of course, I can't model because I'm ugly.
Modelling was the only life she'd ever wanted. Its end destroyed more than her career.
So after modelling, I just continued my education, basically. And as much as I tried to have fun at college. I spent a lot of time at college crying, hating life, hating myself, hating my skin.
Countless trips to the doctor, 3 courses of powerful antibiotics, and Lou was still desperate for answers.
My night ritual used to be getting into bed, grabbing my phone and Googling acne. Acne remedies, new acne treatments, masks, people clearing their acne. It was religious. There was just, all these methods and all these brands and all this kind of gobbledygook in a way that you'll just listen to anyone because you just want it to go away. I was obsessed. Like, it probably came like an unhealthy obsession.
Lou feels like she's tried everything. Like many acne sufferers, she has good days and bad days with her skin. But despite extensive research, she still has no idea what triggers her flare-ups.
I could be missing what the trigger is, and that's what I've tried so long to find out. Going to a nutritionist, changing my diet, cutting things out, being very obsessive with what's in my skincare. I understand ingredients now. Everyone has different skin, and that's the hard part, is everyone's body is so different, everyone's journey is so different, everyone's triggers are so different.
Down near Padstow in Cornwall, 41-year-old Tam lives with her young family. Tam's acne has stolen 10 years of her life.
It's robbed me of part of the person that I am, really. It's just taken away that spark.
Unlike Lou, Tam knows how her acne started. Pregnancy triggered the acne, and her healthy skin disappeared overnight.
First of all, I went to my GP. I felt really embarrassed, and then it took one day for me just to think I couldn't, live with it anymore. I had to get help.
Acne has destroyed Tam's confidence. She can't go out without makeup, and even staying home can cause panic.
A neighbour knocked on my door. I didn't know who it was at the door, but what I had known is that I had no makeup on and that my skin looked terrible. For that split second, I just panicked, and I wanted to hide. I didn't want to open that door, and I didn't want to have to reveal my skin because I felt ashamed.
Tam has tried to find answers. She's seen GPs, been referred to dermatologists, been prescribed antibiotics and powerful drugs, but nothing has worked.
I'm not able to have relationships. I find it hard. I think it's affected my confidence so much. I think because it's on my face. For me personally, if it was somewhere else, I could cover it up. But my face, it's what everybody sees when they meet you.
But acne isn't just one condition, and many people struggling with acne don't have a proper diagnosis. Without the right diagnosis, how can you ever manage the condition?
I would love to be free of it. I would love for it to clear up and just to have normal skin. But I don't know whether that's ever going to happen.
In Glasgow, Jason's life has been severely affected by acne. But looking at him, you wouldn't know it, because his acne is not on his face, but on his back.
It got to a point where I think I ignored it so much, and then I noticed, it must have been like in the shower or something, it almost looked like a rash, almost, just all over my back, but just with spots. And it was like, I don't want to say horrifying, but it was just so random.
Jason's problem isn't about showing his face, but being comfortable getting naked.
Even when I've been in past relationships and I've been dealing with like the acne on my back, there'll be times like if I'm like wanting to hold them, or if we're in bed or whatever, like I can't do it because my back hurts and I can't have the person that I really like embrace me, you know? It's a horrible feeling, honestly.
Jason needs a proper diagnosis before he stands a chance of getting a treatment plan that finally works. But so far, he hasn't found the answers he needs from doctors.
When I went to the GP, the doctor never really explained much about what kind of type of acne it was, but it was just, it felt very brushed off, and it felt like I was just kind of, here's your antibiotics, and rushed out.
Jason's so desperate for an effective treatment that he's willing to confront his biggest fear and show a stranger his body in the quest for answers. Coming up, Tam, Lou and Jason receive some surprising diagnoses.
Oh, wow,
So-
really? I never knew that.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my goodness.
And put some unexpected treatments to the test.
I have to warn you, it doesn't taste nice. You need to persevere.
Three acne sufferers are on a quest to tackle their condition, and the first step is getting a diagnosis.
it became an absolute obsession. Like, I really wanted to know what was going on, because at the same time, I was also suffering very much from acne. Like, mentally, it was hard every day to go out with that face, really. When I've got my diagnosis, I felt so relieved.
Acne isn't just one disease. Different kinds of acne have different causes and different treatments. So getting an individual diagnosis from a medical professional is crucial.
I think the worst part was when I just didn't know what was going on. I think as soon as you're diagnosed, there's a sense of relief that you've got a plan and it is temporary.
On the front line is Dr. Alia Ahmed. Dr. Ahmed is a psychodermatologist. As well as providing a detailed diagnosis, she investigates whether lifestyle, stress, and depression can trigger people's acne. She's on her way to Cornwall to meet Tam and see if she can deliver a diagnosis and end 10 years of suffering.
I'm really looking forward to meeting her, and I'd like to have a look at her skin myself, and hopefully we can find a way forward. It's something that sounds like she's been waiting for a really long time.
I would love to find something that's going to cure my face and make me feel comfortable again. But it's just knowing what that is, or if it is the triggers, or if it is the diet, if it is the stress.
Hi.
Hello, hi there. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
It's a full at-home consultation about every aspect of her life.
So how old were you when the problem started?
When it started, I was 31. I started to get really bad spots around the chin area. There was a little bit of the oily whitehead type spot, but gradually it erupted and progressively got worse. But adding to the mix with that, I also had quite severe postnatal depression.
Okay.
These are important clues for Dr. Ahmed to help with her diagnosis.
This was me after I delivered Jessica.
Okay.
And I think that moment was quite poignant for me because I could clearly see the blemishes.
It's all right. Take your time. I mean, it's a really important picture because it's the first one with your third child, so it's got a lot of significance.
The next step in Dr. Ahmed's diagnosis is a thorough examination of Tam's skin.
How does your skin actually feel? Does it feel sore? Does it feel dry?
It's a combination, really. It feels quite tight.
Yeah.
Quite dry. It's almost like a tight band.
Yeah. I can see that there's some background redness. There are some little bumps as well. Is it okay if I'm just going to press a light against your skin, just against the lump, so I can have a little better look at them?
Acne has blighted Tam's life for 10 years. Despite rounds of powerful drugs and numerous courses of antibiotics, Tam is still desperate for an answer.
I think what you have is a combination of acne and rosacea. It is a condition that is very closely linked to stress. So this is another thing that we need to concentrate on, teach you techniques on how to manage stress better so that it doesn't impact your skin as much.
It's the first time Tam has been given a diagnosis of rosacea. It's a separate condition to acne that causes redness on the skin, often on the cheeks and other parts of the face.
I know when I get stressed, it can affect it. The more I worry about it, the worse it gets. And then the more stressed I get, and then it seems to accelerate the condition.
In terms of the medical treatment, I think it would be really worth trying medicated creams. These may be antibiotic based, there may be some mild acid based creams, or there may be some anti-mite creams. We all have a mite that lives on our skin called Demodex, and some people with this type of redness are reacting to that mite, so it's worth treating it.
Okay.
It would just depend on what worked for you. So hopefully that is going to make things better.
Thank you so much.
That's fine.
Jason has been suffering from acne for 6 years. The acne has taken a toll on his life and his relationships. Doctors prescribed antibiotics and the powerful drug Roaccutane.
Thinking back on it with my first prescription and being on it, I think I was just expecting it to work instantly. I think it almost gave me a bit of confidence, being like, I know this is going to work, like, this will be fine. I'll be back to normal.
But the drugs didn't work, which had a heavy toll on Jason.
That's when it started to begin the cycle of going to the GP, taking the antibiotics, having nothing happen, and keep doing that over and over again. Having it not work for me at all was, it was just gutting, honestly. It was hard to deal with, actually.
To try and finally manage his acne, Jason is open to trying alternative treatments. He's meeting Dr. Chen, an expert in traditional Chinese medicine. It's important to get medical advice before trying, but it's a treatment plan that has worked for some acne sufferers who've struggled with conventional medical treatments.
My acne started clearing up in June and July 2019. I had been on a Chinese traditional medicine program for 2 months. I was also watching my diet and being careful of what food I was putting into my body. It definitely gets better, and that firstly has to start with you.
So can an alternative therapy work for Jason where other treatments haven't?
Good morning, Jason. Hiya, nice to see you. Could you come in, please?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Traditional Chinese medicine has a different approach to Western medicine. Its start point is not the illness, but the patient's overall well-being.
So you say you have your acne mainly on your upper back?
Yeah, it's mostly on my back up to my shoulder.
Mostly on your back, I see.
Yeah.
All right, okay. And now can I check your pulse, please?
Yeah,
okay.
of course.
According to Chinese medicine, pulse points relate to different organs in the body.
So that's called pulse reading in Chinese medicine. We call it pulses, not just one pulse. So that's why we use 3 fingers.
Through this, Dr. Chen says he can feel for imbalances in the body and excess toxins.
So can I look at your tongue, please?
Yeah.
Different part of the tongue relate to different organs. For example, the front part of the tongue relate to heart and lungs, and the middle part of the tongue relate to stomach and spleen. In your case, I could see yellow coating in your tongue, especially in the middle part of your tongue. So that indicates too much heat and toxins in the stomach area.
All right, okay.
Dr. Chen says that Jason's acne is caused by an imbalance in his body.
See the herbal medicine we are going to give you.
Yeah.
You take it home and you boil them in water and then drink the liquid as a tea.
All right, okay.
But I have to warn you, it doesn't taste nice. It doesn't taste nice, you know.
Great.
So you need to persevere.
Yeah.
It's a brand new diagnosis, but will it help Jason's condition? Tam has travelled to Bristol to meet with nutritionist Becky Graham.
I think I've seen more cases of adult acne, so particularly women who are starting to get spots much later on in life. You know, in their teenage years, they might have had no spots at all, and then they reach their kind of mid-20s, 30s, and they're beginning to develop acne.
So how is Tam feeling about her unexpected diagnosis of acne and the skin disease rosacea?
I was surprised about the rosacea diagnosis because I'd sometimes queried it myself in the past, but I'd never actually had it diagnosed. And just to hear that I had that as well, I can't tell you the sense of relief.
Becky is working on a personalised treatment plan for Tam in order to help her tackle her acne and rosacea.
Obviously, you're here for some help with your skin health, and it's my understanding that you were recently diagnosed with acne rosacea.
Yes.
And what's really interesting for me, in fact, is acne rosacea is kind of slightly different kettle of fish to regular acne. It's a really strong link with acne rosacea and gut health.
Oh wow,
So,
really? I never knew that.
Yeah, so
Oh my goodness.
on your questionnaire you said you suffer with things like bloating, muscle cramps, pain. So the muscle cramps in particular can be very closely linked to not having enough magnesium. Magnesium is known as nature's relaxant. It helps to relax our muscles. The other thing with magnesium is it's really important in managing your stress levels because it's involved in the production of our stress hormones.
I think stress is a really big factor with my acne. I can just see within a few days I'll have a real big flare-up. And then that will then change my mood. So it impacts greatly on how I feel.
Tam needs to break the vicious cycle of stress, worry and acne. So she's been keeping a food diary, which will shape Becky's healthy eating plan. And Becky has some expert advice for what to cut down on to reduce those triggering stress levels.
What I can see from your food diary is you've had 4 coffees each day. So what I would like to see happen is maybe reduce those caffeinated drinks to maybe 1 to 2 per day rather than 3 to 4.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So the key ingredients for an anti-inflammatory diet, which I'm going to advise Tam to make sure she has plenty of, are colourful fruit and veg. So eat the rainbow. The more richly pigmented your fruit and veg, the better. The more antioxidants, the more vitamins and minerals you're going to get, and the better for your skin.
22-year-old Lou lives in East London. Her modelling career ended 6 years ago with the arrival of acne. And Lou has felt let down by previous treatments.
When you have acne, you go to doctors and they're as nice as they can be, and they're not a skincare specialist. So they give you as much as they can and they have their own guidelines, but you're there like, please just give me a cure. Not once have I been to like a doctor and have them gone, how are you feeling? Are you okay? Is that okay if you go on this, etc., etc.? There hasn't been much personal touch with it, I'd say.
Dr. Ahmed is making a house call to give Lou an in-depth consultation. After years of searching, maybe Lou can finally get a full diagnosis.
Acne can be psychologically devastating for some people. It can be severe in the way that it looks and feels. It can be painful. It can be very, very sore. If you imagine having hard lumps underneath your skin, which will swell up intermittently, feel hot and tender, it's very difficult to live with.
What I really want to know is what's happened with your skin.
So I first started getting acne when I was 16. I was sort of growing up in Dubai and then I came back to the UK for studies. And when I came back, my skin went kind of crazy. So I went to the doctor. I was on the antibiotics for 6 months. It definitely helped a bit and it calmed it down, but it didn't go away.
Whilst antibiotics can be effective for many acne sufferers, provided you follow medical advice, each individual's skin and type of acne responds differently. Lou found her prescribed antibiotics didn't work, so she later tried her own treatment plans.
I changed my diet, so I cut out gluten and dairy, which did help a bit, but not completely. I've kind of had procedures like chemical peels, laser, again, has helped but not cleared it.
It takes courage for Lou to go makeup-free, but it's the only way of getting a proper diagnosis.
Okay, Lou, I'm just going to examine your face now, if that's okay. Can you just put your head up a little bit towards the light and I'm just going to have a look at your skin. Now, just tell me, do you ever pick your spots?
Not the ones under the skin, only if like ones really come to head and hurts, but I would never like pick the inflamed ones.
Having properly examined Lou's skin, Dr. Ahmed can now deliver her diagnosis.
The type of acne you have is something called nodular cystic acne, which means that you get these painful, red, inflammatory spots underneath your skin. They can also be quite painful.
Dr. Ahmed has weighed up Lou's diagnosis and her past medical history, and has an intense treatment to recommend that comes with some stark warnings.
I do think the longer term solution is a drug called isotretinoin. This is a vitamin A based medication. The way it works is it stops your skin producing oil, and therefore there's nowhere for a spot to breed and grow. It does make your skin dry, so you will need to know that.
Okay.
The other thing that you must know is that you must not become pregnant while you're taking this medication.
Yeah, okay.
What we know about acne is that it can make people feel quite emotional, it can make people feel depressed, low, it can even make people feel suicidal. There have been some studies that have showed that people went on to commit suicide or felt worse while they were taking this medication. It's important for you to know, however, because we should be monitoring your mood while you're on it.
Despite the intense treatment that's recommended, Lou is grateful for the diagnosis and the honesty.
It's nice to actually hear the truth and the real side effects and to understand what, I'm actually going to go through. It's different for every person, and to understand what can happen and make sure you know so you can make it more of a positive experience.
This type of treatment isn't suitable for everyone and was recommended following a thorough examination of Lou's skin. Before starting any treatment plan for acne, it's essential to get individual medical advice. Coming up, the new treatments are put to the test.
There's an aftertaste. I hate that.
Acne affects the lives of millions, and there are no shortage of treatments promising miracle cures.
I was so desperate to fix my skin. I tried all of the vitamins in the whole world. I tried emu soap, which I think is made of like, I don't know, their skin or something, like putting turmeric tea bags and all sorts of creams.
So many different websites or brands claim to have a magic pill to cure acne. I tried so many things.
As everyone's skin is different, finding the right acne treatment can take months or even years. Back in Glasgow, Jason's trying to cook up an acne treatment. He's boiling up Dr. Chen's herbal remedy for the very first time.
It's very herbal, but it's got like, it's kind of woody and mossy. But I think that's just because it's kind of mulchy, because it's been boiled right now, but... Right, let's try it.
The tea is intended to help Jason's acne.
Oh.
But it does come with some downsides.
I know this is supposed to be good for me, but this taste is going to be horrible. I can feel it. It looks like gravy. It's so brown. Oh.
Jason needs to drink the tea twice a day. But if he can stomach it, it might be the treatment that he's been waiting for.
All right. Thumbs up. Oh, it's an aftertaste. I hate that. It tastes like bitter soil.
Tam is also modifying what she eats and drinks to try and tackle her acne. Nutritionist Becky Graham created an anti-inflammatory food plan that added more fruit and veg, while cutting down on caffeine to help with Tam's high levels of stress.
How are you getting on with all of that? Is there anything that you've done really well on, anything that you need a bit more help on? Fill me in.
Okay, I've looked at the nutrition plan and everything, and I have made some small changes to my diet, trying to increase my fruit and veg, and I've also started to reintroduce avocado back into my life. Yay! As I now realise how important that is for my skin. I've stopped drinking the fizzy drinks.
Brilliant.
Decreased the caffeine that I was drinking, so I've just been making small steps really. Already I am reaping the benefits. I think I feel a little bit more confident, a bit more generally positive, I think. And I've had 2 comments in the last week of people saying, wow, you know, compared to how you were perhaps a month or 2 ago, your skin is, for you, looking really, really healthy. It's nowhere near as red and angry as it was.
Brilliant. It's been so great to see Tam again today. You can see that she's glowing from the inside out. She looks so much happier. She comes across so much more confident in herself. It also sounds to me like she's begun to make some real dietary changes. By following all these ingredients as part of the anti-inflammatory diet, it will really help to nourish her skin from the inside out and just calm that internal inflammation that is having that knock-on effect on her skin and driving the rosacea symptoms.
In Glasgow, Dr. Chen has diagnosed Jason and says his acne is caused by imbalance in the body. Alongside his tea drink treatment, Jason is willing to try an unexpected remedy for his acne.
How far do the needles go in?
It depends what points. Some points a bit deeper, could be about that much. Okay. Some points can be very shallow, maybe 2 or 3 mm. Okay. You know? So I tried this one first.
Okay.
Perfect. Good. Not sore.
It's like a pinch.
Bearable.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
In Chinese medicine, acupuncture is supposed to help rebalance the patient by stimulating the organs via pressure points on the skin. Some of those pressure points are in very sensitive parts of the body.
There's one in your ear. It's not sore. I can guarantee not sore. Okay. That's it. Great. Well done. And last one, final one. Good news. This one, this particular one will help you to relax a bit more. It has got calming effect. So I just let you relax now, okay? For about half an hour. But I will be back soon to see how you are. So I'll see you later and enjoy.
I think there's always like a fear because it's needles, isn't it? So it's like sharp objects. You're like, oh God, what's this going to be like? And it's actually, it's okay. It's cool. I like it.
In London, Lou has had a diagnosis of nodular cystic acne and has been recommended a course of strong drugs to tackle it. But for her, the battle with acne is more than about changing how she looks. It's about changing how people view acne.
Social media can be an extremely negative place, and it's sad that it can, because growing up with it, all it sort of was perfect images and girls who'd edited themselves. It definitely made me feel really sort of like worthless. So I was scared to put something so opposite to perfect on social media.
To counteract the negativity, Lou has come up with a body positive message that acne sufferers shouldn't have to hide away. They should free the pimple.
So I started a movement. It is called #FreeThePimple. I spend a lot of time on my Instagram showing, I guess, to a lot of people, shocking images. It was freeing. I freed myself. I freed my soul. I freed who I was to everybody online.
Lou's going to meet Indiana.
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Who has also been using social media to spread a message of hope for those struggling with acne and acceptance.
If you're suffering from acne, I can promise you that it will get better. I know that it is so hard because we've all grown up being bombarded with the idea that acne is only for people who don't exercise or have a poor diet or don't wash. But I just promise you, if you hang in there, have patience with yourself, it's gonna get better, I promise.
So babe, tell me about your story.
Well, I always had acne and pimples, but it really flared up when I was 18.
Yeah.
I was in my first year of uni and I started getting cystic acne. Obviously that's prime time to be socialising, so that was not ideal. The doctors offered me antibiotics and all kinds of creams. Nothing seemed to be working. Went back 6 months later.
So how severe was your acne?
When I went to the doctors for the second time, they said, we're not just worried about your skin anymore, actually worried about your eyesight.
Oh my gosh.
Because it had got so inflamed around my eyes. And it was because cystic acne is obviously so deep in the tissue, it's not like a pimple.
Yeah.
It wasn't going down, it was just so angry, and it was, once you start getting a little bit of cystic acne, it just spreads and spreads and spreads.
For Indiana, it was an opportunity to see that her acne didn't need to define her. And this self-acceptance can also reduce the very stress levels that can trigger acne in the first place.
It affected my confidence an awful lot, but then you sort of see another side of yourself and think, no, actually I think I'm quite nice, I can be funny sometimes.
Yeah.
You sort of see the other parts of you that, it's not about what you look like. Exactly. That doesn't define what you're worth or anything like that.
There is such a positive space on social media. You just have to follow the right people and find the right things. You will find people like you who suffer with the exact same condition as you, and they're actually extremely nice.
It's Jason's first ever visit to London.
Oh my gosh. The Thames is not as wide as I thought it was.
And he's travelled down to see Dr. Ahmed for a full assessment of his acne. The Chinese medicine treatment isn't working as Jason hoped. So he's looking to get an in-depth medical diagnosis from Dr. Ahmed to find a treatment plan tailored to his skin and type of acne.
Now, I hear that you've got problems with your skin, but I want to hear from you what's been happening.
It's just acne all over my back.
And tell me, what treatments have you tried for it?
It's mostly been antibiotics.
Did they help?
No.
Jason also wants Dr. Ahmed's opinion on some of the alternative therapies that are around, including this recent discovery thanks to some online shopping from Japan.
It's basically, I think, a Japanese bird poop.
Poo?
Yeah. That's probably what I'm more sceptical about than anything.
And you haven't tried this yet?
No, I've not. I didn't want to start using something I wasn't sure about.
I mean, I haven't heard of this before. It's offered at high-end clinics, okay, and is used by celebrities, right. I think firstly we need to make sure it is what it says it is. Let's look into this a little bit more.
Cool.
Dr. Ahmed needs to inspect Jason's back knee to understand what's really going on.
Now I can see that you've got some sort of pus-filled spots as well. Does the pus tend to come out quite a lot?
Yeah, I genuinely have like quite pussy spots.
You've also got a number of blackheads on your back. Did you know about that?
I've noticed that before.
Okay, Jason, thank you. Now, what I think is the most likely diagnosis is a type of acne called nodular cystic acne. I'm sure you may have heard this before.
Actually, no. I've never actually been diagnosed or like actually been told you may have this.
Okay.
So actually hearing that I might have a certain type does actually help a lot.
So what that means is that the type of acne that you have, you get these painful, hard lumps underneath the skin, so nodules or cysts. And they are what is causing the redness and also the scarring when they go away. Now, you have had treatment in the past, including antibiotics, including isotretinoin. Some of these options we may need to revisit. If that doesn't work, there are other more aggressive, more physical treatments that you can have which may help, especially with scarring, and that may be laser-based treatment. How does that sound?
That sounds good to me.
Dr. Ahmed isn't only interested in the impact of the acne on Jason's skin, but on his body confidence too.
What we know is that people who have acne on their body compared to those people that have it on their face may have slightly different psychological impacts. They're more likely to have less body confidence, especially in situations where they need to be intimate with somebody else. Is that something you've experienced?
Definitely, especially with like the intimacy with someone, it can really weigh me down a lot.
It's normal to feel that way and it's understandable, and we can hopefully work towards improving your skin so that you don't have to feel that way anymore, or you're more confident to be able to have those conversations with people that are close to you.
Hopefully.
Coming up, will the treatments be enough to help Tam, Lou and Jason to get their lives back? Plus, Jason takes the plunge and overcomes a major fear. Acne blights the lives of millions, but things can get better.
You have to look at yourself in a positive light and see past your skin and like your acne and see what you're good at and see what you're beautiful for, and you'll soon be on the path to recovery.
The more you see acne, the more you grow to like it. I don't really like before and after pictures because I feel like the acne journey is non-linear. You always get there. My main thing will be hanging there. It's gonna get better, promise.
At 28, I just thought, I'm clearly not going to grow out of this. I need to do something about it. I need to listen to my body and understand why I have acne in the first place. I went to see a naturopathic doctor to get some food allergy tests done, and it confirmed my suspicion that I was allergic to dairy. Life with acne can absolutely get better. You alone can make the change that you need to achieve clear skin.
And for Lou, Jason and Tam, there's finally hope. Over the past few weeks, each of them has discovered something new about their acne. And with it, the chance of a treatment that finally works, based on a thorough medical examination. Following some frank advice from dermatologist Dr. Ahmed, Lou's made the huge decision to take the powerful drug isotretinoin that could finally clear her skin for good. According to Dr. Ahmed, this drug could have a major benefit for Lou's individual condition.
Meeting Dr. Ahmed was absolutely amazing for me because she was so knowledgeable about things, obviously, and she was so nice about talking me through like the side effects of isotretinoin. It's a scary thought, but I'm optimistic because I think you have to be. If you want to take such measures to clear your skin, you have to make sure you're in the right mindset.
Lou's positivity was reinforced by meeting Indiana, who is happily out the other side.
I think it was really amazing being able to talk to Indiana about her journey. And it's really interesting because it shows that no acne is the same. No one's journey is exactly the same. But there is hope, because she said that she's basically had good skin for 2 years and she still does, that you can come out of it at the other end. You can get there and it can get better.
Jason's life has been shaped by his acne. It has stopped him forming intimate relationships. And it's even stopped him from doing everyday activities like going swimming, something that he's always loved. Desperate for answers, Jason's journey for an effective treatment began with Dr. Chen and traditional Chinese medicine. But Jason didn't see the results he wanted from the treatments.
With the use of alternative therapies, my experiences with it and going through it and then thinking about it, it just didn't seem like my sort of thing.
After years of suffering, Jason finally has a diagnosis. Dr. Ahmed has diagnosed him with nodular cystic acne and has prescribed laser treatment for his back. After a full diagnosis, Jason is starting to feel very differently about his body. So much confidence that Jason can do the seemingly impossible. He can strip off and go for a swim, choosing a quiet time in the pool for his first attempt.
Now I actually have solid information about myself. I think it has given me some form of confidence. It might not be a very obvious confidence, but in me I can definitely tell there's something different. And having that confidence, I can really push forward and actually start helping myself. It must have been about 6 years ago when I've last been swimming. And I'm just looking at the pool. I'm feeling anxious, but then kind of eager at the same time. I definitely think with the knowledge that I've gotten from all of this, I can be more proactive. It's just, it'll help with being more comfortable with who I am. Currently I'm a work in progress with myself.
In Cornwall, Tam's life has been crushed by acne. She couldn't even answer the door without her acne being disguised by makeup. Leaving the house without it was literally impossible.
I'd never ever been diagnosed with rosacea. It was that was like the missing piece, I think, for me.
And with the right diagnosis and a massive improvement in her skin, Tam's been able to break the cycle of stress that's been making her daily life a nightmare.
I think I'm much more aware now of how my stress levels were affecting my health, and especially the skin health. I think I'm a lot calmer and just generally feeling a lot more confident.
With her confidence increasing, Tam has stuck with her healthy eating plan and is already seeing the benefits.
Having met Becky and working on my food plan, I've made lots of healthy, positive changes. That on top of the skin is amazing.
Tam's skin has massively improved, so much so that she can do something that she never imagined. Without a single dab of makeup, Tam can leave the house.
This has been a really emotional journey for me. It's been huge. It's almost like finding yourself again, being comfortable with yourself again.
So what about the future?
I am in control now of my acne, and the acne is not in control of me, and it's not stopping me anymore from walking out from my front door. And that for me is just amazing.
I think there is one thing that I want to be able to say, and if it's the one thing that gets remembered from this, is that you're not alone in all this. And there's always going to be people to be able to talk to, and make sure you're not making yourself isolated.
I definitely don't obsess about my acne as much as I used to. It was the thing that I was always thinking of, always looking at, always touching my face. Now I spend more time being positive about it and trying to show other people how they can be positive about it. And it's amazing how you can completely switch, but it's definitely changed.